Hello, all you marvellous folks. Flax here of flaxformersphotos. Happy Valentine's Day. Before we get started, just want to say huge thank you for all the love and hate, bit of that too, on my HasLab Unicron discussion video. It's at 750 views, and that is just phenomenal. I was impressed when I woke up the day after I uploaded it and it had 100 views, and it's only been going up steadily since then. So if you haven't seen that already, go check it out. But without further ado, in my Ultimate Armoured Lost Predator review, I mentioned a big one, and I wasn't talking about a Transformer. Now, on that video, one of my viewers, Remarkable Dude, was asking which big one I was referring to. He guessed the Assassin Predator, and that was close, but it was not. The Ultimate Alpha Predator. This is a special edition 100th Predator figure. It is one of these 100 Predator figures. I can't even get them all in frame. And we'll take a look at this in a moment. But yeah, gorgeous premium packaging as always with these Ultimate Editions. Got the Velcro, amazing product shots on the inside and artwork on the outside. Awesome product shots on the back and a read-up. If you can hear some things rattling around, that's some accessories which we'll take a look at in a minute. But first, he comes with the Alpha Predator scroll. It's not the official name, but it is on a kind of parchmenty paper. Really cool. It's just a massive read-up about the Alpha Predator. You can find this online on Neca's website, I'm fairly sure. I showed you the collector's sheet, but that is on the other side of an Alpha Predator poster. This is the same as the box art, but with none of the text on it, and it just looks stunning. I'd really love to get this framed. If there's any way to get the kind of fold marks out of it, because this is one killer piece, literally. Without any more messing around, allow me to introduce you to the Ultimate Alpha Predator. And man, he's in a fairly dynamic pose, but this thing straight away is off the scale good. I was incredibly happy with the Ultimate Jungle Hunter, blown away by the Armoured Lost Predator, and this guy is just on another level entirely. Design-wise, he was never my favourite. I did see him on the website I initially ordered the Jungle Hunter from, and I thought he looked really stupid, but then found out about his place in the Predator lore, and basically just watched more reviews of him before I realised that this is a very special figure, and my opinion of that does not change having him in hand. So right now he's got all of his accessories, bar one tiny one, attached, so let's just start going through them. He has his arm blade, and you can read the read-up for all the information you need on this guy, or watch some other reviews, but he is the first hunter. He rose up, again you can read this all in the scroll that he comes with. Go back and pause the video on that if you want to know more. He's kind of built this initial armour and weaponry out of all the skulls and jaws and backbones of his enemies. And not only that, but this is kind of a piece of Predator history, which is why I got so attached to the figure so quickly after initially brushing it off. Most of the armour is based on the original River Ghost design for the Predator. Look up original Van Damme Predator on Google, and this helmet is the spitting image, and as is all of the kind of rib work that he's got going on, the armour and everything. So I just think that's really cool. As soon as I learnt that, I knew that I had to have the figure. But yeah, he's currently got his arm blade, which does slide, and let's just start with the criticism right out the gate. This is very loose. We have what I imagine on this channel will forever be known as Commander Cody leg syndrome, where it's just loose enough that you can tap it and it wobbles around. Rocking this huge bone spear. I'm just going to get a size comparison going now. This is his spear next to a standard. While we're here, let's get the figure. Quite literally twice the size. Speaking of Commander Cody leg syndrome, while we're here, let's get the man himself in on the job. He only goes up to the Predator's elbow, and this is a 6-inch Black Series figure. If you haven't seen my review, go check that out. Even though he's been Luke Skywalkered, he still has that presence. And this is a really cool weapon, because my partner and I are incredibly into Moana, and this guy's kind of a badass Maui with this sickle slash fish hook. It's just another one of the things that drew me to the figure. And these are detachable, and his arm blade does look cool without it. It looks more like the standard Predator kind of swing. There's another one on the back, which is in a very small hole, giggity, which I will not be taking out to show you. I can just use this one, turn it round, and plug this into the hole in the kind of spine neck section, and then put this the other way around, and that's going to end up looking like that on the other wrist, which is really cool. But multiple display options for this guy. Really awesome accessories all round. I've just realised you can put the claws in his hand. And I've always wanted to make a fan Predator called Hook. He'd have kind of an eye patch, like a metal one, under the mask. And he'd have the classic Predator arm blade would come out of his, straight out of the hole where his hand used to be. I just think that would be really awesome. And is something I haven't seen done before. But yeah, we are yet to go over the main accessory with this guy, which is his primitive biomask. Now this is, I don't know, one of the skulls or carapaces of the Amengi, I think they're called, which are the race that subjugated the Predators, if I am remembering the bio correctly. So he's wearing the skulls of his fallen enemies, and as we discussed, it looks exactly like the original Predator design. But taking this off, a lot of people prefer to display this without the mask, and you'll see why. Look at that face. That's a face only a mama could love. My camera is not doing the detail on this guy's face justice, but you can see all of his predlocks, including this kind of samurai / Native American kind of bun back here, which is just super cool. I imagine he's been on the hunt for an incredibly long time, and this is just a symbol of his prowess, and he's got them all braided here as well on the sides, far more than your average Predator. And this guy's far beefier as well. Amazing detail and articulation on this figure. As usual, I won't go through all of it, but double bend at the elbow for those proper kind of get over here Mortal Kombat stances that you need. Somewhat hindered by the van braces, and he does get a case of kind of banana elbow, but it doesn't actually look too bad on camera, and if you have it at the right angle, it really doesn't look bad at all. All of his stuff moves under this big kind of chest piece that he has, and his kind of fur loincloth. Legs can kick forward. You get all the movement that you need, basically. The poses are dynamic enough, especially with these awesome double-jointed knees. You can get a kind of charging sprint there going. The one disappointing thing with the articulation, as is the case with these 3 Ultimate Predators that I own by Neca, is the ankle articulation. The pivot is good that it's there. You can get him into, you know, a surprisingly little degree of ankle pivot actually gives you quite a wide range of split before the foot starts getting kind of overbalanced. But the up and down is really where it disappoints. That doesn't really offer much, especially if you're going from the middle. It goes that much up and then back to the middle and then that much down. And I am kind of forcing it, but it'll go back into place. However, I think for displaying, these figures are so chunky, unless you've got a dedicated space, which I do not. You can kind of see some of my collection up on that wardrobe over there. This guy really can't be in, you know, a huge action pose because he'll just take up too much space. Giving him back his bone spear though. This is quite loose now. That's new. That's really disappointing. Let me try and put the... This is good. We're discovering something new together on the review. I'll try and put his van brace on, and as you can see, it does not leave that strap much space on the wrist. It goes on a few millimeters before the leather, faux leather, of his other arm protection gets in the way. That does hold it in place. As you can see, it's not wobbly at all now. So, there we go. Word of warning, the wrists on this side will be very loose, but make sure you have his bone gauntlet on, and the strap itself will hold that wrist peg in place. Give him his other blade because I like that. And now, with everything on, I'll speed it up if it takes a long time, but I'm going to try and put his mask back on. This is a big point of contention that people have had with the figure. It has, you're not really going to be able to see, but there are these two above my index fingernails, these two kind of clips that do fit onto his kind of shell head, and what a lot of people don't realise is 2 clips down here, one for each kind of top mandible of his mouth. Even knowing that, after reading comments on a bunch of reviews for people that didn't know how to put the helmet on, It took me about 10 minutes to get the mask on the first time I did it. Hopefully this has loosened it up. I could see what I needed to do, but it just wasn't cooperating, and I kind of had to force it. The paint has stayed remarkably undamaged. There's no chips or anything. And this is very, very nicely kind of almost pearlescent white and blue painted. Really subtle, but really effective. Well, there goes that. As long as you follow those instructions, the mask is easy to get on. Only on camera would this happen. It took me 10 minutes to do that the first time I did it. But hey, if it means one less problem without you, or should I say, without you, okay, I'll stop. One less problem to deal with, then I'm happy that the mask goes on easily. Just opening his box, because this guy comes with the removable mask, he doesn't have an alternate head. But what he does come with is 2 open hands, 2 grabby hands, one of which is on the figure, and this bone throwing star, which with his current configuration he doesn't actually have enough space to... I guess he could be holding it in his other hand, but because he's got the arm blade on it, I like displaying him like that. And this thing looks kind of piddly compared to his other massive weapons anyway. Now, I do like to refrain from talking about the price with figures unless it's to show value, but with these Neca Predators I do like to bring it up, because this figure was $34.99. Wheeljack I think was $16.99. I mean, the detail, not even all the detail is coming across on camera, and this guy's weathering, painting, the skin tone, the mask, all of the kind of bone. I mean, even on camera it looks so real. This spear is just like, look at that, all the subtle weathering and everything. I just bring up the money to give you the kind of value for the price that you'd be paying for this guy. If you can find this guy, I'm fairly sure the site I bought him from, as with the other 2 Predators I own, now does not have him in stock. Just have a look around. There are a few places, I think because this guy was a reissue, who don't normally stock Neca Predators but do have this guy for some reason. So if you can get him while he's going, like I said with the other 2 Predators, pick him up, seriously. Especially because this is a piece of Predator history, and if you are going to get into collecting these, having this one later down the line, it's going to be a really, really special piece. This is kind of one of the nice special centerpieces of my collection, just due to the kind of whole 100th anniversary thing. You know, the lack of ankle articulation is to be expected with the Predators at this point. I think if those are the 2 things you're sacrificing for this much detail, that many accessories, and such a shelf presence, undoubtedly positivo. Just while I'm here, I couldn't review this guy without comparing him to Lost and the Jungle Hunter. So here is Lost. He is in a pose right now, but his leg is straightened. We're going to bring in the alpha and just line them up at the bottom of the screen. So he is, I mean, he's still taller, not by a huge margin with this guy, but bringing in the Jungle Hunter, who I'm just not taking them out of the poses that they're on the shelf on, but even with his legs bent, you can tell that this guy is pretty massive compared to Jungle Hunter. Jungle Hunter does still have a special place in my heart. I love the design, and the original film is probably the best out of all of them. Objectively, Lost has the amazing light up eye feature, and the sword and the metallic blue is just killer. And this guy, you know, piece of Predator history, awesome accessories, and such a unique design compared to the others. Just brilliant. But yeah, that about wraps it up, guys. That was my review of the Ultimate Alpha Predator by Neca. Be sure to give me a follow on @flaxformersphotos on Instagram. The link will be in the description to my Linktree. I do have SS86 Hot Rod and Grimlock on pre-order, so those should be arriving in the next week or 2, all things going smoothly. So subscribe and make sure you don't miss those reviews, because I will no doubt be doing reviews of those. I've got some new Lego sets that I'd like to compare and contrast, as well as some discussions. Just a bunch of good stuff. After the support on my Unicron discussion, I've got a lot of plans for the channel, and I'm feeling really excited about it. So leave a like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.